How you doing, Petersburg? So let's have a quick talk. The other day, one of the candidates running for city councilor, a gentleman by the name of Patrick Ingram, made a video about the city manager. And normally I don't watch his videos, but I got phone calls, so I checked it out. Now I guess this is my reaction video. Uh, First off, Patrick, the city manager of Petersburg is named Aretha Farrell Benavides. Hashtag say her name, bruh. Say her name. And I actually did not know you're running against Aretha. I thought your opponent was Annette Smith. But ever since you started your campaign, you've been banging on the city manager. Um, you're asking for transparency in her personal life. Just in case you don't know, Aretha is a free woman. Aretha is not your Negro. You do not own her. The city does not own her. She was hired for a job. She has done and continues to do the job. And she's actually kicking ass at that job despite people trying to tear her down. And even more important, you mentioned that you caught her doing something. You didn't catch her doing anything. She has vacation days. She has sick days. And what you're actually trying to do is imply ownership over a free person. And that's not healthy. That's not a mentally healthy place for you to be. Your statement is an attempt to deny her personage as a free person and make her beholden to the citizens of Petersburg and to yourself. And when in all actuality, what you need to be concerned with is she meeting the terms of her contract and is she bringing value to the city? So, Patrick, please explain why the citizens need to know the details of her personal life. And it is true. Aretha is making 180K. She started at that. And I say, so what? I have no problem with it. But I do find it troubling that the salary of the city manager has never been an issue until a black woman occupied that position. Now, I can easily bring up Tom Terrell and the millions, well, more than $1 million that he got. And I could bring up his predecessor, William Johnson, who in a very long time ago was making 170,000 a year. But more importantly, let's talk legacies because you brought up her legacy. And so let's talk about the legacy of the notorious AFB, Aretha Farrell Benavides. You said that her salary, which you estimated at $600,000, is $540,000 to be exact, is her legacy because in paying her that salary, vocational education lacked and the water billing system was not fixed. And the city is full of old tech and we have a crumbling infrastructure and school funding, which she's not responsible for, is lacking, and also the raises for city employees. And so you're inviting me to say, hey, let's talk about numbers. Okay, because Aretha's actually actual legacy is that she took the city from a deficit of $19 million and brought us to a surplus in 3 years while improving the bond rating. All right, so let's look at that. We're just going to round it off and say $19 million, which covers that deficit. And we'll take a look at her salary over the past 3 years, which is $540,000. Well, if you divide those numbers together, what you come out with is $35.19. $35.19. And what that means is for every dollar she was paid in her salary, she bought a value of $35.19. What kind of idiot does not want that type of return on their investment? How can her salary drain the city of anything when she's actually bringing value like that to the city? That's what we call a franchise player. Patrick, ask some financial people you know, what is the likelihood of a city manager or anyone turning a $19 million deficit into a surplus in 3 years? Get back at me when you after you ask someone. But since we're still talking about legacy, let's mention character real quick. Ask Marlo about her legacy. When she got here, Marlo had been unfairly fired from the fire department, and no one was trying to assist him. It was Aretha that took charge of that situation, listened to the facts, and got him his job back. And she was actually, there was an attempt made to block her by the outgoing city manager at the time, which was Tom Terrell. Let's talk about continuing to talk about her legacy. Let's talk about the people in Petersburg and other places that were on the Petersburg payroll that Tom Terrell, who called himself taking care of them, told them they served no purpose. They were just getting paychecks. But he told them and had them sign some document from the city that said, if you're fired by the new incoming administration, new city manager, that this will guarantee that you get a severance package. It was a lot of money for what they were doing. And so when Aretha was confronted with this, she told him no. First off, they were being fired because they didn't serve a purpose. And then she actually told them, try to sue the city. Try it. And so, Patrick, what that's called is integrity. Integrity. And that speaks a lot to a person's character. That's why I'm making this video tonight, because here's someone that I know that has absolutely no character and does everything that's self-serving. Throwing stones at someone that has shown nothing but character. But let us continue. The statement, that whole statement is a demonstration of your abundant ignorance when it comes to the operation of a city and how it relates to the state financially, and a lack of preparation that you've undertaken to become a representative sitting on the city council. Your critical thinking skills, your lack of knowledge and personal maturity leaves no doubt that you were nowhere near ready for leading the city government. Quick lesson. When you're in debt, we'll say $19 million, and your bond rating is trash, the first thing you do is turn that around. Because if you focus on anything else, you're going to lose your city. But more than that, when your city is in that position, you normally cannot find good, capable, competent people to interview for said position because people don't want to come into a mess. And if they do come into a mess, you normally have to pay them a lot more money than 180,000. And so if you really want to look at it, we got Aretha for steel. And she knew that coming into it. Also, you brought up Black Lives Matter twice. Trying to point out that her interviewing somewhere else means that our black lives don't matter. Bruh, here's a tip. Number one, if you're going to run for political office, if you're going to be a leader, you got to get rid of the passive aggressive stuff and just speak straight. It helps the clarity in getting your message across. And the only reason you would invoke Black Lives Matter in a majority black city is to manipulate black people with emotionally charged words. Are you trying to say that the possibility of her leaving is a threat to our lives? Because most people know I'm a preacher and I'm extremely sensitive to words. And what you did is what we call cultural manipulation. So your mission is to make your Black Lives Matter comments make sense or just leave it alone. And this whole line you had about voting and making it relate to the city manager is what we call conflating. Conflating is when you take two unrelated things and try to force a relationship between them when the facts just simply don't fit. Now, it's not only unprofessional and manipulative, but unbecoming of a candidate for city council. The citizens do not vote for the city manager, and you know that. The city manager is not your opponent. I hope you know that. So you need to concentrate on Annette Smith. Annette Smith is your opponent. Now, I want to find out, what are you offering the city of Petersburg? Except for talk. What have you done before May? I mean, we've seen you pick up trash and we've seen you talk. Boy, have we seen and heard you talk. Do you belong to any city boards? Have you volunteered since you moved here? Do you belong to any nonprofit board in the city? And I'm sure the people want to know what Patrick Ingram has done other than talk. Like, you want to talk about the recent shootings and how you were the only person there. Let's keep it 100. You went out to a shooting after it was over. What is that going to do? Or better yet, what did you do? Is this more like a political stunt to make people think you care? Is this Patrick Ingram clout chasing in the streets? All right, did you talk with the family? Do you have any relationships with the folk on that street? Are you waiting until you see if you get elected and then you're going to build those relationships? Or just give them, better yet, just offer the city of Petersburg one plan for reducing gun violence. What do you know about the state? What do you know about state and federal gun laws? Why are the shootings happening? What you gonna do, Patrick? What you gonna do? Be real with the people. What you gonna do? Now, I'm not gonna lie. Your 23-minute, 50-second speech was insufferable. let's talk about it in detail. You said in a portion of your video, who you hire is reflective on you and what you bring to the table. All right, I think you actually meant to say something like, who you hire is reflective of you and your beliefs. At this point, I would like Petersburg to remember that when you vote, who you hire is reflective of you. Patrick Ingram is not who you want. You also said a couple times that we've seen this behavior before. Yeah, that is true, but we've seen it from you. Stop talking in generalities and get specific. Drill down into one problem. One, just one, and concentrate on that. Use specificity and explain what change you're going to institute on that one topic. Instead of trying to make people feel comfortable and all like that. We don't need that in the city. We need actual actions. We need you to actually say something very specific. But more so, your speech showed me that you have no understanding of how the city and state government works. And attacking someone because they're trying to do better in their life is not only immature but irresponsible. And your actions and your speech actually did not reflect poorly on her. It reflected more poorly on you, because this incessant whining that you do is what the people of Petersburg have to look forward to. And the outright lies you told speak volumes about your character, your integrity, and your more than open willingness to manipulate. Now, this one is big to me, and it's actually called intellectual curiosity. Instead of taking these half-baked or pretty much raw, not even medium rare, hypotheses and theories that you just throw out, but you throw them out with a lot of feeling. You actually need to exercise some intellectual curiosity and dig deep, drill down, and figure out the facts and what influenced those events. But, Patrick, I'm always here to help people. I'm here to help people get better. And here are some books I think you'll dig. Where my books go? Level Up. Pretty good book, but it gets better. Transforming Communities. Good read. The Art of Community, 7 Principles for Belonging. Move to Action. Organizing Urban America. The Rise and Fall of Modern Black Leadership. A Crisis of Leadership and the Role of Citizens in Black America. And the one book you should actually start with is Strong Towns. How we can rebuild our city to where it's supposed to be. Now, Patrick, I'm finished with you. But my next question is to Marla. Marla, is this what One Petersburg is supposed to be about? And do you actually trust this man to co-lead within the city of Petersburg? Like I said in the last video, we got to do better. We got to do better.